Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., all rights reserved.
And now, back to a man who didn't let being named one of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America go to his head.
Woo! Woo! Yes! In your face!
He's Jim Blasingame, the Small Business Advocate.
Welcome back, 34 after the hour. Thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for staying with me. I'm broadcasting live from Bay Hill Club and Lodge here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. I came here from a place where there was 10 inches of snow, and when I got here, folks, I called a friend of mine and I said I was having to dodge the sun plows. The sun plows were everywhere, pushing the sun out of the way. It was just so much sun here. I don't think he appreciated that. But folks, as you know, if you've been listening to my show, you know what I'm doing down here. I came down to interview one of my heroes, Arnold Palmer, the King, as he's known. And I'm in his lodge, and I'm about to welcome him to my show, but he's been my host here at the end. And so let's get him in here. Mr. Palmer, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, Jim. Nice to be here. Nice to be with you.
Thank you. It's good to have you here, and thanks for the great hospitality. You got a great place here.
Thank you. We're filled up right now.
Congratulations.
Yes, that's a good news.
That's always good, isn't it, in business? You know, and I want to talk about that a little bit, Mr. Palmer. About business. Everybody knows you're a legendary golfer, but not everybody knows that you're a highly successful businessman. And what I'd like to do I'd like to take this segment, talk a little bit about business, about your philosophy on business, and if you had to look back on what has made you the most successful in business over the last several decades, what would you say would be the single thing that would be the most important?
Well, I think one of the things that I have used is that I trust people. I enjoy doing business. I enjoy talking to them. I enjoy being frank and straight up when you're talking about business. Tell them what you can do, ask them what they can do, and I think that works very well in business. And of course, most of the people that I've done business with over the years feel the same way about it.
Do you think trust begets trust?
Yes.
It's important, isn't it, to plant trust if you want to get trust, isn't it?
Exactly. And I think that is one of the most important things that you can do. As I did with Mark McCormick 60-some years ago when we met and started, and he wanted to draw up a big contract.
Because he's a lawyer, right?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's right. And I said, you don't need to do that. And he said, what do you mean? He said, we got things that we have to agree to. I said, we've agreed to them. You told me what you do. I told you what I would do. We'll look at each other, shake hands, and we'll get on with our business.
And then do it, right?
And we did.
Yeah.
Well, it only lasted until he passed. And
right.
That was a little over 50 years.
Yeah, exactly. That was a storied relationship, no question. But I like this thing about trust because I think we're coming into a time where trust is going to be a much more valuable commodity. What do you think?
Well, I hope so. And I think so, yes. I think that people need to know that they can trust their neighbors, their business partners, their business opponents, if you wish. Jack Nicklaus and I are very close friends, and we trust each other, and we do things for each other, and that makes our relationship very good.
Well, you know, my audience knows I talk about this trust thing all the time. I've been doing it for over a decade now. I think it's very important. I'm glad to hear you say that, Mr. Palmer. And, you know, the thing about trust is it's not only the right thing to do, it's good business, because if I can trust you, I'm not worried about what you're going to do and whether you're going to do the right thing or not. And if I can trust you as a vendor or a business partner, I don't have to go looking for somebody else to spend the due diligence time to do that. We've already got that worked out.
That's right, and that's very good. And of course, I've practiced that all my life.
Yeah. Did you, you know, we're all born with our tendencies to be one way or the other, but we're also raised to be a certain way. And you talk a lot about your dad. What did your dad tell you about trust?
Well, he was the one that taught me what I practice, and he was a man that with great integrity, great trust, and very, very honest man. I can remember back then, and this is a long time ago, in the Depression, when things were very tough, and my father borrowed some money to buy food for the house, and he never let that go by. He was, and to the day that he passed, why, he was always back there taking care of things like that.
Right. Well said. You know, Albert Camus said, "Integrity has no need of rules." And I like that quote, and that was kind of what you were telling Mark McCormick, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Mr. Palmer, your website is arnoldpalmer.com, also bayhill.com, I think, is the local place here where we are right now. I'm going to take a quick break. Thank you for hanging out with me. Visiting with the great Arnold Palmer, ladies and gentlemen, at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. It's a beautiful place. I've been here many times. If you get a chance to come here, I'm sure they'll open up their doors and show you some of this great Arnold Palmer hospitality. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Arnold Palmer on golf. I'm Jim Blasingame. Stay with me.
Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., intended for the private use of our audience. Except as otherwise provided by copyright law, all other copying, redistribution, or publication without prior written consent is prohibited. All rights reserved. Prohibited. All rights reserved. Prohibited.